Good morning, guys. Today topic is about dopamine again because in my day-to-day life I constantly see this with, especially with kids. Yeah, the adults they got the similar behavior, but the kids mainly we can focus and most probably will be able to get away from this sort of like behavior. Is again we're going to talk about dopamine tolerance. What is dopamine tolerance? Dopamine tolerance is when you do an activity for a certain time. Let's say you're gonna go for a video game. When you what happens within the first day when you start playing video games, within 1 minute you feel a lot of dopamine and you pleasure in your body. Yeah, and after like playing few days, 1 minute is not enough because it's gonna tolerate the dopamine into your body. It's gonna absorb, and it doesn't want to release that much dopamine for a 1 minute of playing video game. It's gonna go up to another 2 minutes. Then you release the same amount of dopamine. Then you feel good. Yeah, then after that is body realizing, okay, this is gonna happen again and again, I shouldn't release this much of dopamine. Then you're gonna go for another 3 minutes. Likewise, you're gonna go for hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Not only video games, looking at videos, YouTube videos, the food, there is again another one, alcohol again another one, drugs again another one, which that happens similar manner to iPads or looking video games. So there's no difference in dopamine tolerance to iPad or the heroin or the drugs. The impact of these two definitely is completely different to the body and the mind. The mind and the body is going to be completely different, but the pattern, that downward spiral, it's going to be the same. Then the question comes, how are we going to get rid of this dopamine? That's that high levels from these kids, yeah, and adults. Definitely you need to start doing things like yeah, very low dopamine release activities, especially their jobs. Like, if you have kids, let them do all their own jobs. Then otherwise you'll end up being very facing a lot of difficulties. Once they become 13, 14, it's really hard to get them to a place where listening to you, because they are driven by the hormones, especially if you're a boy, testosterone, and they have a lot of power. By that time, if you haven't done your work, yeah, that means like if you didn't build their subconscious mind to you know make sure they're disciplined enough, and they know about the karma, they know about these universal laws, rules, it's really hard to get them to a right place. You need to spend at least two days, max minimum 2 days, full time, to get them back to the right place, every week at least. Yeah, and once they become 18, as they have the authority, if you're in Australia, it's really hard to get them back to that low dopamine levels. They try to find more and more levels of dopamine, like, yeah, then they'll, from iPad they'll jump into something else. They jump into food. Sometimes there's the worst case, they jump into drugs. If you know what will happen from the drugs, then you go for violence, which is really bad. That's the end result. I think make sure your kids are really good understood the universal laws and these all these disciplines, and before they become around 13. If it is too late now, just start, like, work with them, read books, just get the knowledge how to manage these, how to release, how to reduce the dopamine and get them to work on that. And most importantly, it is not the schools or the anything else in this world matters. The what matters with kids is the time you spend with them, how much time you spend with them. It doesn't matter, you go there and play game video games first, and then you can start conversations, you can go for a walk, you can go for bicycle ride. Make sure you do activities with the kids. That's the most important thing for them. As far as I know, there's a research says that uh, the they did the research for like so many families, and the people who has dinner together uh, has very less violent kids. They are very success. And who doesn't have dinner, they are like completely out of their way, like, sort of, it's not good for them. That one matters. For from that research, what it says is, if you spend time with them, it's very much beneficial for them rather than spending money on them, having big schools or having good place to stay. It doesn't matter if you don't have time to spend with them. Slow down, parents. I feel like that's the best advice can give. Slow down and stay with kids. Let's do this, guys.